We are extremely interested in the house.
That's really good. We are extremely interested in the house.
The House was released in 2022 and is actually split into 3 acts. The first act being about humans, the second act being about rats, and the third act being about cats.
Rhymed. First act, from what I got from it, was obviously it's really dark and quite depressing because it's about a family who's really poor, and then the dad's family, I think it is, they come and they're quite snobby. They look down on them being poor and unsuccessful, and she was talking stuff about his dad being the same. Because it looked, from the animation, it makes it look really child friendly and everything, but then the dad is like getting drunk, he's an alcoholic, and then he goes out in the middle of the night and then goes to like that carriage, and and you don't see what actually happens, but he somehow makes a deal with that person. I can't remember exactly what happened. I wrote down about the main theme was like greed, because the mum and dad sacrificed their family for a bigger house, and then it ended up being their fate because they were turned into furniture and burnt alive, which was really dark. Even though they had really tiny faces, but everyone's movements I thought flowed really well and seemed really realistic. The music, I think most of the music was with a violin, and that was really creepy.
I love the music.
That was really good. They get dressed up in these weird clothes, and then eventually he gets turned into a chair, and then she gets turned into curtains, and then they end up burning to death, which is really sad.
How the fuck did that baby have the grip to go down that carpet outside the window by itself?
Yeah.
I've got a few points about the first act. This was my least favourite design of all of the characters. The humans specifically, I wasn't that fussed about, but it's still very good. The voice acting throughout this thing, especially with the kids, was super solid.
Yeah, definitely. Acting would be hard enough, but then you've got to stand in the recording studio and deliver your lines, and I think they all do them separately from what I know, but yeah, you'd be on your own, and then you'd have to, it all sounded really believable, the voice acting, so that was really good. I had no idea what it was about, and I was thinking, is this like is this basically a kids film? And then it got really dark, and I was thinking, no, it's not for kids. The first chapter was a lot different to the other ones because there weren't any comedic parts to it. It was mostly quite sad, weren't it? The workmen around the house were really creepy as well because they'd just kind of stare and they wouldn't really say anything at all.
Probably a commentary on capitalism, isn't it? People who are trying to make money will destroy everything, including human life, in order to make money, because that's why they turn into furniture at the end.
Yeah.
Because they don't even care about the humans.
Yeah.
They use them for products. Let's move on to Act 2. Act 2 hooked me in again quite quickly, just at the right time when it turned into a story about rats. I had no idea that the whole storyline was going to switch from humans to rats, so it threw me off and it gripped me quite a lot. Wasn't expecting the rat to take a selfie either. Also, at the end of the section, why was the cockroaches dancing and singing?
Oh yeah.
I didn't get it, but it was quite funny.
Pretty
in a weird
enjoyable,
way.
and I like the music.
I love the rat couple that come along, the fat one and the long one that start saying stuff about really being interested in the house and they won't leave. The main rat guy is kind of weird, isn't he? It turns out that he was calling his dentist and treating him like his girlfriend, which is quite funny.
That's a funny twist.
The whole middle section was just really absurd to me, and I love that in films when none of it makes sense, but it's still funny.
Yeah, there was a lot of funny moments in the second chapter. It was a lot more light-hearted than the first one. I didn't expect it to be a rat running around building it. That was funny.
A rat wearing a suit as well. Come on. That's great.
What's not to love? Yeah, there was a lot of funny moments in the rat story one, especially the guy, I forgot his name, but the main rat, he was really funny, and the voice acting was really good as well. Yeah, the animation was really aesthetically pleasing, I suppose, because it was really nice to look at.
Yeah,
it was better than seeing like a 3D kind of animation. Everything looked really real, even though it's animated. But yeah, it's really satisfying to look at.
I love the design of the rats. They were my favourite design, actually. Moving on to Act 3.
Act 3 is about cats living in this house. Yeah, that was really nice to look at as well, all the animation, because all the water looked really real, because there was a flood, and they were surrounded by water, and then hippie kind of cat comes along. But yeah, all the other characters really love him, but she's quite a downer. I suppose it's kind of like Toy Story, where Woody's kind of the downer and everyone else likes the new person and is really upbeat. So she's like the outcast.
The spiritual cat lady with the crystals and dream catchers, she made me laugh so much. As soon as I saw those crystals on her table, I actually burst out laughing because it's so true to people I've seen in real life who are into astrology. I just think it's funny. You know,
I think the cat story, the third act, was my favourite one. Kind of stuck between the second act and the third one, but I remember enjoying the third act more than the other two. Towards the end of it, started to get sad because everyone was leaving her, and then she didn't want to leave the house. But then in the end, she actually gets to leave with the house and it starts floating away because the flood keeps coming in. And then eventually the house breaks away. That one had a really happy ending. So I really enjoyed the ending on that one.
To me, her character progression was loosening up and becoming happier and being more open to spiritual stuff, which is a weird message. Quite interesting.
Yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed this film. I wasn't sure because we didn't know anything about it, which was good. So I was going into thinking, am I going to enjoy this or not? But yeah, I really enjoyed it, even though it was quite strange. All the animation was really nice to look at. The stories were interesting. Yeah, overall, I enjoyed all 3 stories and enjoyed all the music, and the animation was amazing.
Nice. What would you give it out of 10?
I put 7.5 out of 10.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, I generally agree. I enjoyed all acts. My favourite one was definitely the second act, and the third act was quite enjoyable. Overall, I don't fully understand what the plot of the film is, and I don't completely understand the themes, but despite that, I still had fun with it. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Cool.
Nice.